I watched V for Vendetta again for the first time in some time. And you know what's sad? The fact that the situation that they described in that movie, I hope you've seen it. If not, you should definitely see it. It is as accurate to our times today as the movie Contagion. If you go watch the movie Contagion, you're going to be like, holy crap, that's like 1-to-1 what we're going through right now. So is V for Vendetta. And what's sad about it is that all it took was 80,000 lives dying in their fiction novel, fiction story. 80,000. 80,000 was so atrocious. It was described. I hate to laugh about it, but I'm about to make a meme. V for Vendetta was like, 80,000 is an unimaginable number of people dying that the government must be held accountable for. And America is like, or reality. America's reality is like, hold my beer. 195,000. And we don't blink. It is amazing how fiction can't even capture the reality of what's going on in this country. It's, of course, the saying, stranger than fiction, life is stranger than fiction. Yeah, but to be living in that reality that is stranger than fiction, that is more dire than fiction, that is more depressing than fiction. And what's depressing about it is the fact that we are yet at a point where we have had enough. And I get it. I want you to understand, I totally get it. And I am not trying to provoke people into action. I'm not trying to, chump people and say anything about the fact that we haven't risen up in revolution, because I understand why we have not risen up in revolution. Because there's no guarantee it's going to win. There's no guarantee that it's going to work. It is a guarantee to completely destroy the little stability that we have. So I don't say that it is depressing, because then the question becomes, what do we have to go through for us to have had enough? And what I'm realizing is that human beings, we can tolerate a lot. We can tolerate more in real life than we can tolerate in our fiction. If we were to say in some fiction novel that the American people sat by and watched 250,000, 300,000 people die, and the president of the United States knew it was going to be that bad, but he played it down, we would not believe in a fiction novel that the people would not rise up in revolution. But in the novel that is our reality, here we are, and we have just adapted. We have adapted. We have accepted it. Part of that acceptance comes in the fact that we're able to politicize anything, and as long as we can have 50% of America against something and 50% of America for something, then we can remain in a quasi-stalemate, and everyone just goes back to work because we simply accept it as normal politics as usual. That's part of the magic of politics. You create the appearance that there's two sides to it. You create the appearance that that's debatable. We create the appearance that 180,000, 190,000 people being dead, it's debatable because some of them have pre-existing conditions. And so long as they are able to politicize it, we're able to continuously expand what we will tolerate and what we will put up. I often look at stories of genocide and wonder how could people, and this is going to come off wrong, so maybe I shouldn't say it, but like I always say, let me say it like this. I always say, if you're going to kill me, it'll never be on my knees. You're going to have to kill me standing up. You have to kill me fighting me. I'm going to go down fighting. I always say that. And when I watch movies about situations and scenarios where people are just led to the slaughter. And I wonder how. How does your humanity allow you to do that? The same way our humanity has allowed us to sit by and watch 195,000 people die. Slowly but surely. It's not an indictment on their character that they tolerate that. It's an indictment on our human ability to accept more, gradually accept more every day. And so while in my American-centric, probably somewhat toxic masculinity, arrogance, I look and I'm like, there's no way they'll ever make me bend my knee and die on my knees. I have not been put in the situation where I gradually, more and more every day, accepted that demise, except for the fact that it's happening to us right now. The fact that we have accepted 195,000 people dying. And here I am scoffing at the arrogance. No, I said that wrong. Here I am scoffing at the ability of people in movies and history that I've studied. I've seen people just go stand in front of the snipers, in front of the firing squad, or they bend. I'm scoffing at it as if I'm so much more better than they are. I know that's wrong English, but whatever, you get the point. I'm scoffing and I'm like, that would never be me. But damn it, here we are as Americans. And we have accepted 195,000 people die. When our fiction says that we should have declared a revolution at 80,000. And yet and still, I get it. I understand. But the question is where is our threshold? When will enough be enough? When will the people have seen enough death? When will we have seen enough death to not allow the pettiness and the fatuousness of our politics to be chains holding us to a system that will get us killed? When will it be enough? I don't know the answer to that. But I do fear that if our reaction is commensurate with as much as we put up with, I do fear, I think I can say that better. I am afraid that if our response and our level of reaction is proportionate to how much we've put up with. For instance, if 80,000 people died in V for Vendetta, I know it's fiction, but I'm just going to use it as a benchmark. If 80,000 people died in V for Vendetta and that was enough for them to tear down the entire government that was in charge, then what happens when we finally have had enough at 300,000 Americans dead, 400,000 Americans dead, 500,000 Americans dead? What would be the level of our reaction at that point? And perhaps it would behoove us to not wait until we snap collectively as a people, because that may be the very thing that we can't recover from. And perhaps we're fooling ourselves and thinking by being patient for fear of causing chaos or sedition or revolution, and we don't want it. But by waiting and waiting and waiting until we all collectively snap, maybe we are setting ourselves up for the very thing that we fear, which is a destabilized nation where we are no longer able to sit in the peace or the modicum of peace or even if it's just the illusion of peace that will be stripped away from us because we waited too long to respond to all of the calamity that was happening around us. Maybe in our best efforts to keep the peace, we're undermining the peace. Because when the people collectively realize what has happened to us and we collectively snap, God forbid, the reaction is proportionate to the number of people who have died.